Zoom link ready to go? All right. Well then, welcome everyone. Thank you everyone in the room for braving the weather tonight and slippery roads. We'll call this regular meeting of the Township Board of Trustees to order at 7 p.m. and we're in order. Trustee Sherwood, here to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. We will proceed to the roll call of board members. Trustee Glass.
Here.
Clerk Mackey.
Here.
Trustee Leonard.
Here.
I'm Supervisor Combs. Treasurer Miller.
Here.
Trustee Sherwood.
Here.
And I believe Trustee Robinson is absent. Is there a motion to excuse?
I'll make a motion to excuse Trustee Robinson.
Support?
There's a motion and support. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? And the motion carries. Thank you very much. Moving forward to item 4, are there any additions or deletions to the agenda this evening? Seeing none. We will begin with our first public comment period of 2 this evening. If you'd like to make a public comment before the board, please step forward to the podium, either podium, whichever one works for you. Let us know your name and address, and you will have 3 minutes to share whatever you'd like.
Hello again, this is Steve Ludy from 205 South Lauderdale, and I wanted to give congratulations to the board for the hard work that they had done last Friday. That's very important work that was done to protect the township and not only our finances, but the reputation. And by taking that action, even hard as it was, you're making a positive step forward. There's also part of taking actions like that is we have to be mindful of the examples you see it all the time in national politics, where one politician will take advantage of another politician for their own personal or political advantages, and we have to be really careful as a board not to do that as well. And one of the things that was confusing to me that gives the wrong perception is that I noticed in January 13th, 2025, Supervisor Combs made a motion to increase the clerk's salary to $50,000, and I totally support that. I had talked about that a year earlier, to $63,500. But the treasurer offered an amended motion for a larger amount, for $70,000. And then on November 24th, just around the corner, 2025, the board disciplined the treasurer for some of the behavior that was become more illuminated. Then the next meeting, December 8th, 2025, the board rewarded the treasurer with a 3% cost of living increase. And that was a motion by Clerk Mackey. Then the same meeting, Treasurer Miller made a motion to give Clerk Mackey a 3% COLA. And so when you see that kind of interaction, it's confusing to the public. Why did someone get rewarded for bad behavior? And then why were people supporting each other for a COLA increase, which the supervisor, I understand from the agenda, it does not support. And I would urge the board to take consideration to also draw back the 3% COLA increase for the treasurer at least. So that's my main thoughts, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Other public comments this evening?
Yes, I will have a public comment.
Okay.
Can I make it from the?
You need to step to the public comment podium.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Shireen Miller. I am a resident of Kalamazoo Township, and this statement I make this evening is as a citizen of the township. I'm making this statement for the public record and for the benefit of my constituents who have placed their trust in me to serve as their treasurer since November of 2016. At a special board meeting held last week on Friday, January 23, 2026, the Township Board adopted what it referred to as a censure following a closed session. That action was based on an internal report and that I had not seen prior to that session. I was given no public hearing and no meaningful opportunity to respond. I dispute both the allegations and the conclusions contained in that report. What was adopted last week was not a censure. It went beyond an expression of disapproval.
Treasurer, your comments are currently out of order because they are in violation of Section 2.9 of the Board Policy Manual. Would you like to continue in a manner that is compliant with the Board Policy Manual?
And compliant with the Board Policy Manual states?
Sure, if you're unaware, I'll let you know that the Board Policy Manual, which this board adopted, including yourself, in Section 2.9 entitled Truthfulness, states that all information provided by board members will be truthful and complete. The board shall not knowingly make false or misleading statements, and you've made two so far related to board actions and decisions in your comments. First, that you had no meaningful opportunity to respond to the report. You were offered an opportunity to interview with the investigator and chose to leave the room without answering any questions. You also stated that what was taken was not an action of censure, which is, as documented by our minutes, and action taken was an action of censure. Would you like to proceed in a manner?
It was an action of censure.
Would you
but
like
it
to
went-
proceed in a manner that is compliant with board policies?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
It went beyond an expression of disapproval. It stripped me of my duties and authorities, which have been granted to me by statute and by the voters.
Again,
Not by the
Treasurer,
board.
your comments are in violation of Section 2.9, truthfulness. Would you like to continue in a manner that is compliant with board policies?
Yes.
Thank you. You may continue.
The result of what happened on January 23rd has resulted in causing material harm to my professional reputation and my standing in this community. I reserve all rights and intend to respond to the allegations and to seek immediate restoration of my statutory duties and to pursue all appropriate legal and equitable remedies. I will be submitting a statement to the supervisor and clerk to be entered into the board meetings of January 2026. Respectfully, Shireen Miller, Kalamazoo Township Treasurer.
Thank you very much. Additional public comment? Seeing no movement in the room, is there any public comment on Zoom, Superintendent? Thank you very much. With that, we will proceed to the consent agenda. Clerk Mackey?
Thank you. I will move to approve the consent agenda as recommended by the superintendent and the supervisor.
Support.
There's a motion and support. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. Thank you very much. The motion carries. We'll then proceed forward in the agenda. There are no public hearings or presentations this evening. There is no old business this evening, which carries us to new business. Item A, I will go ahead and introduce. It is the motion to rescind the previous resolution increasing the supervisor's pay. Just a couple of things, board, as we begin this item. First, you will see, I believe not stapled because it is new, to our agenda packets, updated language for this resolution that is specifically entitled repeal. So we're looking at the document entitled repeal, the previous motion. Make sure you all have that. And this, of course, just came up in public comment, so I won't rehash the issue, but I will, once we all have it, in order to open discussion, I will move to adopt the resolution with the repeal language as presented.
Support.
There's a motion and support. Any discussion? Seeing none. I believe we need a roll call vote for repeal. Is that correct? Thank you, council. So we'll begin the voting. Trustee Sherwood.
I would like one more minute to read through this.
Yeah.
Had a chance to read it fully.
Council, can you advise, now that we've begun voting, are we able to put a stop to voting?
Well, he is discussing for a moment.
Okay.
right? So yes, that would be considered kind of.
We'll just hold the vote open for a moment.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, we've got a motion on the table that's
thank you.
ready to go.
I'm a strong but slow reader, I apologize.
No worries.
Mr. Supervisor,
Yes, please.
do you think you could just do a tiny summary of why this is, just for the public?
Sure.
Yeah. Sure.
My understanding is that the supervisor initially felt like the cost of living increase was kind of an employee thing, that he wasn't sure that that was appropriate for officers. So he had discussed that previously. However, since he was not in attendance at the meeting, his position is he would have removed it. Had you not had an opportunity to vote on it, when he was not present at the meeting, he would have just had it removed.
I could,
Basically kind of a mistake that he took a different position on.
well, and I'll add to that as well. This item was not on the agenda for the meeting. This was added during the meeting and then voted upon during the meeting. A couple of things. One, this is not, of course, statute, but we have, in general, tried to take the practice of not bringing up and voting on items in the same meeting, specifically for this reason, because this increase in my compensation was pushed through while I was recovering from a car accident, no less. And I have also communicated, as is in the resolution, clearly to the board that an increase in the supervisor's salary is not the most needed investment in the supervisor's department, nor do I feel it's appropriate for the work that I do. Any potential investment in the supervisor's department really should be put into additional support. That being said, we also had discussed that during our budget discussions and decided not to move forward with that investment. And so this one, mid-year, having been brought up without being on an agenda, feels wholly inappropriate. Did that answer your question?
I have completed my reading, thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Sherwood. Since we are in discussion, is there any additional discussion? Seeing none, we will proceed to a vote in that case. Trustee Sherwood.
I'm an aye.
Clerk Mackey.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Trustee Glass.
Aye.
Trustee Leonard.
Aye.
Treasurer Miller.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion carries. We will proceed to item B, the recommendation to appoint Don Martin and Mike Seals to the Planning Commission. This one will be dealt with via a voice vote. I will, as I move and bring this forward, I will also share we have currently 2 open or terms that have expired on December 31st of 2025 on our Planning Commission. I also received 2 applications, both of whom Mr. Seals and Mr. Martin are extremely qualified. Mr. Martin, of course, having been our previous Township Supervisor, and Mr. Seals having served previously and until the end of this recently expired term on the Planning Commission. And given that, I will move to appoint Mike Seals and Don Martin to the Planning Commission for terms expiring December 31st, 2028.
Support.
There's a motion and support. Discussion is open.
Can you explain, so they're filling terms that expire at the end?
They expired
last
at December 31st,
Okay,
2025,
yep.
correct. Other discussion? Treasurer. Oh, sorry. Treasurer, then clerk.
How many applicants did we receive?
2,
2.
yes.
And this was Don Martin and Mike Seals just?
Correct.
listed.
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
the 2 in the motion are the 2 that applied.
Okay, thank you.
Clerk.
Supervisor, it's my understanding that a current member of the Planning Commission, who is not being recommended, had also requested to be considered.
Yes, he did not, however, submit an application.
Okay, did you indicate that, because he did express interest to me, so I just wanted to.
My understanding is that our planner, is this correct, Superintendent? Our planner communicated to the Planning Commission that they would need to submit applications? Thank you. Thank you very much. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
No,
Yeah.
I just,
Okay. Other discussion? Okay. Seeing no discussion, we will proceed to a voice vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Hearing none, the motion carries. Thank you very much. We will proceed to item C, the motion to appoint Scott Jackson to the Kalamazoo County Dispatch Authority Committees. I will defer to our police commissioner if you'd like.
Oh, sure. I will move to appoint Scott Jackson to the Kalamazoo County Consolidated Dispatch Committees as listed.
Support.
There's a motion and support. Any discussion? Seeing none, and with congratulations to our new police chief, Mr. Jackson, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. And the motion carries. Thank you very much. We'll proceed to item D in new business, the motion to approve the resolution adopting the full township calendar and holidays. And I understand, Clerk Mackey, you might have a bit to say about this.
Yeah, I wanted to just let the board know that we brought back the calendars to this meeting while the board had approved the calendar for the township board. We had not had the zoning board of appeals approve their calendar, which is also required by resolution, and since that body does not meet very frequently, I had requested that this be added to the agenda. This particular resolution has all three bodies, statutory bodies, the board, the planning commission, and the zoning board of appeals calendars on it. The planning commission did have their own resolution, so this resolution is in alignment with theirs with the same calendar dates. What I'm asking this board to consider is that we make a change, since we're still within our rights to change the calendar for the year. I wondered if we might move our February 23rd, 2026 work session and regular meetings to that Tuesday, February 24th. And the reason why I'm requesting this, I know that we're all invited to the Dinner with the Delegates event that WMU puts on each year. It's a great opportunity that I really have personally enjoyed attending. It gives us a chance to interact with young people in the community, and it's just a really great event. I learn a lot from it, and I wondered, I'd really like to attend it, but I would never miss a board meeting for something like that unless we, did something like this. So just wondered if we might consider that. And with that, if I may make a motion.
Please do.
Let me find. Just looking for the one I'm looking for. Okay. I would move to adopt the resolution establishing the Charter Township of Kalamazoo 2026 calendar of meetings and holidays, including approval of the 2026 Zoning Board of Appeals meeting calendar, as amended to reflect that the Township Board's February regular meeting will be held on February 24th, 2026, following discussion.
I'll support that amendment.
There's a motion and support. To open discussion, I will say I wholeheartedly support the change. I had the opportunity at Clerk Mackey's recommendation last year to attend the Dinner with Delegates at Western Michigan. And I can't encourage all of us on this board enough to attend if you're able to on the 23rd, not only for the students and young people who are looking themselves to move into public service as a career, but also for us selfishly. That was far and away the most encouraging evening of my year last year, to get to hear the voices of and sit and have dinner and break bread with the next generation of leaders. There's a lot in it for all of us, them and us. Other discussion? Seeing none. Then we will proceed to a roll call vote for this item. Thank you, Clerk Mackey. Clerk Mackey, would you care to begin the voting?
Aye.
Trustee Glass.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Treasurer Miller.
Aye.
Trustee Sherwood.
Aye.
Trustee Leonard.
Aye.
And the motion carries. Thank you very much. Our final new business item this evening, item E, is related to resetting the MERS contributions. Superintendent, would you care to introduce this item?
Sure. This was discussed in our budget last year to reset the MERS contribution for the township. back to its original percentage, thereby reducing our budget and increasing what the employees will pay for the 26 and going forward. We originally discussed the phase-in for this contribution. The last phase-in being mid-March. I'm recommending, based on review of past board meeting minutes, that we move that immediately to February 1st. So we are asking that this be adopted February 1st. Bringing the resolution forward, any merge change that we make must be done by resolution, a merge resolution that they present. So that is in your packet.
Thank you very much. A motion would be in order.
I will move to approve the resolution resetting the MERS contributions effective February 1st of 2026.
Support.
There's a motion and support. Any discussion? Yes.
Superintendent, can you just remind us what the contribution thresholds are again?
The current contribution for the township is 17.5. That is a reduction from 29.
Thanks. Anything else? Seeing no discussion, we will proceed to a roll call vote. Trustee Glass?
Aye.
Treasurer Miller?
Aye.
Trustee Leonard?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Clerk Mackey?
Aye.
Trustee Sherwood?
Aye.
Thank you very much. The motion carries. That concludes our new business for this evening. We will proceed forward. There were no items removed from the consent agenda, and so we will move forward to board member reports. Trustee Leonard, care to begin?
I don't really have a lot of updates other than, I would just encourage everyone to stay connected with your community. We're in kind of scary times in the country, and I think it's really important that we check in on our friends and neighbors and make sure that they are safe and that we can be supportive of each other.
Thank you very much. Trustee Glass?
I just like to say congratulations again to our new chief, Scott Jackson. It was really exciting to celebrate him last week, and bittersweet to also celebrate the moving on of our former chief, Ergang, who's done a wonderful job. And and already we see this weekend they have a lot going on. It never stops for them, but I feel so grateful and thankful for our officers and our fire department all the time. They just do a wonderful job. They have a great attitude, and just thank you to Chief Ergang for setting us up for success, and I can't wait to see what Chief Jackson does next. And then I also just wanted to say thank you to the neighbors, at least in my neighborhood, and I'm hoping others too. I know we take turns kind of snow blowing the whole street side, like little sections. So I know it's helped a lot of our neighbors, to kind of like trade on and off. So if you're out with your snow blower and you see someone else hasn't done their section of sidewalk yet, it never hurts to just, go a little bit further. And I know it means a lot to people, but it's been really awesome to see on our street just how people have been showing up for each other in the snowy, cold weather. So
Thank you very much. Clerk Mackey?
I just wanted to mention that today I had an interaction with a resident who expressed to me how much they loved our township app. And so I wanted to thank the superintendent for implementing that. I find it to be useful as well, and especially with all the winter weather that we've had lately, I like that I get weather alerts through the app. And so thank you for doing that. It's very useful. And I just wanted to also say that I know the superintendent has worked hard on the newsletter that should be hitting mailboxes pretty soon. So I wanted to thank her for doing that and for allowing me to provide an election update. The election commission of the township has approved a permanent precinct consolidation. And the reason for doing so is we found that by analyzing the historical data, voter turnout, we looked at the most recent, like the presidential election, where we would see a bigger turnout, and we looked at that data, and we found that as numbers are steadily moving away from in-person voting on election day. More and more people are utilizing absentee voting or using the early voting sites that are available for state and federal elections. We were seeing those numbers decline, and so it presented an opportunity for us to make a permanent consolidation. What we ended up doing was we used the consolidations that we often use for local elections, and we found that those combinations work really well, and we've decided to make those permanent, reducing our precincts from 10 to 6. This will save a considerable amount of money and make election administration a bit easier for our staff here. We will probably add in, we want to make sure that we don't have long lines, and I don't believe that there will be long lines, because we will bring in additional staffing into our precincts to accommodate for that. So just wanted to provide a little update about that, and if you want to learn more, you can look at the newsletter. Any voter who is affected by these changes will get a new voter ID card, which is required by Michigan law. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Treasurer Miller.
Yeah, thank you. I also would like to congratulate our former police chief, Brian Ergang, on his new adventures in his life. I would also like to welcome Chief Jackson to his position as our new police chief. Are we going to have a formal swearing in for him is my question, because I would like to be in attendance to that. That would be a question for Clerk Mackey. For our new police chief.
Yeah, that went
occurred.
out to all staff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. And when was that?
that was last week.
Oh, okay, very good. And then I also would like to thank my neighbors for taking care of each other, because it has been very apparent in my neighborhood that if you need help, it's out there and people are willing. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Trustee Sherwood.
Yeah, along the same lines, actually. There's a lot of snow out there. There has been a lot of snow. And what we have asked the Road Commission, the Kalamazoo County Road Commission, to step up in many cases. And I will say, within at least my neck of the woods in Westwood, the roads have been in really good shape. They've been showing up immediately after snowfall and clearing the roads. And I've heard it from several neighbors that they were impressed with the performance this year. So thank you, Road Commission, for a job well done. But beyond that, I want to say that our neighbors have been really stepping up. There are a couple men who I didn't catch their names. I didn't get to stop because it would have been dangerous to do so. But they were clearing the entrances off of West Main into the side roads. And whoever those angels are, thank you. Please know that it makes a big difference to all of our neighbors, not to get stuck as you're trying to come off of West Main at speed in the side roads. So it is appreciated. I don't know who you were, but thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. I have just a few things this evening on the topic of the Road Commission. To begin, I just wanted to let this board and everyone know that the superintendent and I have begun to sort of percolate information with the Road Commission's representatives about our annual contract. I think we expect in the next month and a half or 2 months, we'll be able to bring from the Road Commission that draft contract for all of us to discuss, as always, in a work session first, but just a reminder of what we all already know, that is our biggest opportunity as a township every year to have direct say into what the Road Commission is going to focus on for the next year. So look forward to that. Like I said, likely in February, I think, Superintendent, is when we bring the contract forward. That's the target. Thanks. I also just wanted to let the public know, as this board knows, that this Friday and Saturday, the board will convene for its annual strategic planning retreat. We'll be convening right here in this room. So that will be, if it hasn't already, it will be posted, of course, as a meeting. And that's the time for the board really to think over the long term instead of just the day-to-day of township business of what we would like to accomplish and what we're hearing from residents that we would like to accomplish as a board for the year to come. And then just two other quick things. First, I wanted to share, both for folks here in the room and folks that might watch later, why, at least from as a supervisor's perspective, why we ask for the name and address, or at least neighborhood, of where you live when you give your public comments. As has been noted a few times over my year in office so far, we don't record your address or your private information in the meeting minutes when you give a public comment. But as board members, not just for myself, I know my colleagues as well, we take notes. And we want to be able to follow up, especially if you have an issue that is very sort of locally relevant to you on your street or in your neighborhood. So it's helpful for us to have an understanding of physically where you're coming from, if you're going to talk about your street or a drainage issue or whatever it may be, so that we can follow up in the most accurate way possible. And then finally, I just wanted to share, again, something that this board already knows and is, or I hope is intimately familiar with, but for the public, this board has adopted a board policy manual that includes a code of ethics, which we are bound by not just in these meetings, but in all of our interactions in our capacity as members of this township board. And that's available to you, to the public, to see. If you'd like to see what governs our interactions and our behaviors and our decision-making and process, you can find that on the website, along with several other documents, but the board policy manual is what it's called. If you'd like to know, again, what rules we've all agreed to play by. With that, I have nothing else. We'll proceed to the superintendent's report. Thank you very much. Then we will proceed to the second and final public comment period this evening. If you'd like to make a public comment, once again, feel free to step to the podium. Let us know your name and where you live, if you would, and you'll have 3 minutes.
I'm Susan Banner, 518 Edison, and I want to share an experience I had a couple weeks ago checking on my neighbor and found him dead. And our first responders were amazing. The professionalism, the kindness, the respect that they provided, from the first responder, volunteer fireman, to the police officer, to animal control, to the medical examiner. It was, it was heartbreaking, and I was overwhelmed with how wonderful everyone was, and kudos, because we're seeing so much that is divisive, and it was great to have that opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Other public comment this evening?
Steve Moody, 205 South Lauderdale. And when I speak, it's not because I'm angry that I didn't get reelected, as some people have said of me. It's because I'm a citizen who has really vested to my community, lived here for 35 years. So I think you all understand that, but one person has been dragging my name in the mud. So I wanted to also congratulate the supervisor for clarifying about the agenda item that was added to the meeting after it was already printed. So the public I totally agree with what you're saying, because the public had never seen that in the pre-packet, and it was never read out loud, so the public didn't even know what was being voted on. So I appreciate that. And that then marked that the first time that I'm aware of that 2 board members have ever received a COLA increase. It's always, but to my memory, always been limited to employees. So congratulations, Supervisor, for explaining that and taking the high road, I believe. I also appreciate the consolidation of the precincts. I thought that was limited by the state, like you had to have 1 precinct for every 1,400 voters or something like that. So I'm glad the clerk has found a way to bring efficiency. But the one item that still is outstanding is just a small one, but it's the calendar that usually gets distributed in our taxes in December. And that December mailing was delayed, as we learned in detail from the last Friday's meeting why that was, and had to quickly scramble to get a corrected version of the tax bill out. And so we couldn't take that opportunity to piggyback with recycling, bulk trash, and leaf rush pickup calendar. And a lot of people depend on that. And as a former county recycling coordinator, I feel that if people don't get that soon to put on a magnet on their refrigerator, then participation may erode and drop off. So I was going to suggest it be in a future newsletter, but that sounds like it's all ready for press. But whatever opportunity, I appreciate it, any effort to get that out to people so they can refer to it in a handy way. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Other public comment this evening? Seeing no movement. Superintendent, is there any public comment on Zoom? Thank you very much. And we have no closed session this evening. Thus, we have reached the end of our agenda at 7:35. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.